Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week of your tarot, oracle, and intuitive readings. So tomorrow we have a full moon in Pisces coming up, and so of course I'm setting the stage here a little bit where I've got my full moon candle lit. I've got purpose candle lit for the Virgo season that we're still in for a few more days. And then I've also got the intuition or chakra candle lit because that corresponds with the sign of Pisces. So let's talk a little bit about Pisces. Now, the full moon in Pisces means that we're coming into a new wisdom. We've closed out this when we hit the new moon in Virgo just a few weeks ago. The new moon was a time where we were kind of compiling all this wisdom together and moving into this new cycle of the moon. And so now we're at this point of releasing to the rest of the world, showing up in this sign through the lens of the sign of Pisces. And that's, when we think about the moon, when we work with the energy of the moon, we are working with cycles. We are working with the cycles of the personality, the cycles of the spirit, the cycles of the psyche. And it's just interesting to work with the moon's energy in that way. So, excuse me. When I think of the sign of Pisces, personally, my relationship with the sign of Pisces, it's always been kind of an interesting relationship. Pisces, think of the Pisces sun people that you know, and think of their characteristics and how you kind of vibe with them. So it kind of, when I have started thinking about this sign, and it's quite interesting over the last couple of weeks, I've been getting this, this spiritual connection with the Hanged Man tarot card, and it is the Hanged Man tarot card that is associated with the planet Neptune. And the planet Neptune is the ruler of the sign of Pisces. So when we think of the Hanged Man, and I'm going to use a different card this time than I've used before from a different tarot deck, but when we think of the Hanged Man, we think of this this idea of being flipped. We're in a different way of balancing our perspective. Our perspective comes from maybe an in-depth world. Maybe we're instead of thinking with our heads, which are, if we were right side up, our heads would be at the top of our body, right? But when we're flipped, it's almost as if our mind has changed position in where it gets its connection from. So we are in this, we are connected with this sense of, I want to say, it's not illusion, but it's almost psychic. It's almost dealing with this level of beauty and chaos almost. And you can see here we've got this person dealing with in this aerials. It is this sense of finding beauty in another perspective, from another even another position. And so that's where we tap into, with the planet of Neptune in the sign of Pisces, tapping into this different psychic power, this different sense of self, this different idea of self. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. Let's go ahead and read a little bit about the full moon in Pisces from our Moonology card deck. And I say our. I'm talking about it as if it's shared, but this is from Yasmin Boland's Moonology Oracle deck. And also just pointing out again, this idea of the full moon is surrendering to the divine. Okay. And so again, that is coming up tomorrow, the full moon in Pisces. Let's pull that forward a bit so you can see that. So the card here says balance, spirituality, and practicality with the full moon in Pisces. All right, let's see. Full moon, Pisces. Okay. Have you ever been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Attune with the moon. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. Additional meanings for this card. You're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate, and avoid substance abuse. The teaching. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's a time to deep dive into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Piscean energies that have no borders. So feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. Okay, so that is our full moon in Pisces. If you are viewing this video with a certain question in mind, keep in mind that we're looking at it through that full moon in Pisces lens. So as you bring your question to this video, or maybe even you're just seeking hints or pebbles to take you along the way, or at least get you in the direction that you're going, that's what this video offers. Tidbits, inquiries, small pebbles of ripple that cause ripples in the water of the consciousness. Okay? All right. Let's put this to the side, and let's see. I think today, I think this must have gone out. I want to light this again. Oh wow, it got buried. Okay, let's see. Well, my intuition candle went out because it got buried under a whole bunch of wax that melted. But we're going to keep that same energy. We're still going to keep the energy of Pisces. I'm trying to figure out which deck I want to use. Oh yeah, I actually want to use Wild Unknown Tarot today. All right. So I call on my divine masters and teachers to come into this reading with a message for those who are watching and for the collective, for the full moon in Pisces, September 2021. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you for coming into this reading with a message. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, that popped out. Thank you. Ah, that flipped. Let's see what that might be. Put that there. Okay. Wow, that popped. Another one popped. Okay. This is our last card out. Kind of flipped in the reverse. Okay. So normally I don't like to read in reverse, but this card came out in the reverse, so I'm going to take it. Actually, I think this one came out, and this one. Okay, if I got it backwards, I'll replay it, because I can't remember how these, I know this was the last card out, but I can't remember if this was second to last or this one. I think it was this one. Yeah, I think it was that one. Okay, we'll read it that way. All right, so I can tell you right now, this is about a spiritual journey. Let's go ahead and look at what we've got out on the table here. First up is the Daughter of Cups, also the Page of Cups. Then we've got the Four of Pentacles. Oh, wow. Then we have the Seven of Cups, the Five of Cups, Ace of Swords in reverse. And again, normally I don't read in reverse, but it fell out that way. So I want to make sure that the reading is interpreted properly. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. Ooh, my goodness. Yes. This is definitely about a spiritual journey, right? Because the bottom of the deck is that Eight of Cups. Wow. This is very much something, so what I'm feeling here in this reading is that this is something, you know, if again, I'm looking at the person, you know, when I read, I like to think of the person, not the situation. I'm not going to read for someone else. You know, I'm reading for the spirit, the inner spirit. So the Daughter of Cups, this is where I see something new emerging, something new being birthed, a new relationship, a new product of a relationship, something coming forward from the emotional realm. But with this Four of Pentacles, right, there's this idea of needing to let go, needing to, or at least needing to understand resistance to this new relationship, or this new thing that's come along. The Four of Pentacles, you can see the bands here around each pentacle, and they're all pulling And it's almost like they're resisting being drawn together in several different directions. And this is also, we talk about pentacles, we talk about the earth, we talk about our money, our resources. There is something going on with a relationship with your resources. And it could be that you are resisting this emotional investment for some reason. But it looks as if the reason is multifaceted, because the Seven of Cups is about the Seven of Cups is about options. And we think we have options. We think, or we're being pulled in several different directions emotionally with our resources, where we were really kind of in an advanced stage. And so now our resources are being tugged at, right? Our emotional resources. And if you're anything like me, your emotional resources are also tied to your physical resources, right? And there's this in-betweenness of the sun and the moon. There's things that are clear and things that are unclear. And so you're trying to figure out, where do I put my resources? Where do I let my resistance down? And it could be that there are new relationships popping up that you now need to invest in that are different from the relationships that you've had in the past. And it's confirmed here in this five of Cups, because the Five of Cups, we see this horse out in the rain, right? The horse doesn't have a stable. The horse is not, it's not housed. And horses being out in the, this is a sad looking horse, but the Five of Cups. I just see change in relationship here with this Five of Cups. There's a change here, and it's a sad change. How that fell. So we've gone from the Seven of Cups to the Five of Cups. The Seven of Cups was about choices. Here, the Five of Cups, it's kind of like two choices have been taken away. And it was a sad thing that we had to do in order to go from seven to Five Cups. But now this Ace of Swords in reverse. The Ace of Swords in reverse, I'm going to say this honestly, and I can talk about the meaning of the card, but I'm also going to speak about the intuitive level of the card. So what I'm getting from this Ace of Swords is that we are relying on external forces to make decisions for us, which causes clarity, which causes our clear vision to be muddled. When we start relying on other people to hold our vision for us, it means that we don't have real vision. And I think that's what all this earlier reading is about, is on some level, right, with relationships and with changes in life or whatever, there's some inconsistencies in relationship, inconsistencies in communication, inconsistencies in vision. And so things are getting confusing, which is exactly what could happen in Pisces season. So I was backing off of some Pisces stuff because my own, I think for the past few weeks I've been thinking about how my relationships with with Pisces people has always been this kind of muddled and confused space where, and this is just my story in order to maybe form some sort of a pathway of understanding for you all. Having a muddled background with Pisces sun people, like I really know that as dealing with a Pisces person, I usually have to give them a very wide berth to operate in. Like I cannot, with a Pisces person, I can't implore them to do something. I can't, like I can ask them to do something, but I can't, I don't want to use the word force, but with Pisces people, it's almost as if I can't get very close to them. And when I ask for clarity, when I ask for more information, when I ask for thoughts, when I ask, it's almost as if with the Pisces person, it's almost as if I'm talking to a brick wall unless they offer it, and unless it's in their, in their chart to share that kind of information, very fully and openly. But mostly, I've been thinking about my relationship with Pisces people, and I didn't want to say like something very blanketed term, but I really wanted to examine what is it that I'm doing, or what is it that I need when I'm approaching a Pisces person. And so that's also this balance, right? This balancing situation with the full moon in Pisces is, am I asking too much of a person in this time? And it could be that same notion here of maybe you are identifying that you need more out of a relationship than you're actually getting, or and that doesn't just mean romantic relationships. That could be platonic relationships, that could be your family relationships. Are you have you identified exactly what you need, or are you letting the this external idea, this external are you holding your own vision as the responsibility of someone else? Are you even involved in your own vision? Because this is what I see in this Ace of Swords. There's a pullback of this clarity. There's no clarity, actually. So now we look at Seven of Pentacles. And so I think the Seven of Pentacles is showing up to sort of say, it takes hard work to get back into that. And honestly, no, I don't even see that. I do, when I was saying that, this is almost saying, look at your past, like exactly what I was just talking about. Look at your past. Look at how history has repeated itself for you. And I know, that's getting close to the idea of the Eight of Pentacles, but really it's that idea of what is it that is going to bring you success in your next relationship, in your next relationships. Are you looking at how, have you resisted somehow in the past something? Have you, what has been the resistance, the outside resistance in the past if it wasn't internal? And then here, and I love this Nine of Wands in this deck, because the Nine of Wands to me, again, 9 is a number of independence. The Wands are about action. And so we walk ourselves out of this muddled confusion and into really looking at, I mean, this could even be therapy. This could be working through working through your past by actually putting your hands in the dirt. It could be gardening, going through, kind of going through the cycles of, this is the harvest moon, and this is the Seven of Pentacles. So we might even be asking ourselves, what are we harvesting out of our relationships at this time? What are we harvesting out of our own spirituality at this time? And then again, yes, this Nine of Wands, this is about action, taking ourselves out of our darkness toward the light of the moon here, right? And again, I talk about, there's this darkness and this light, but there's also an acceptance in this journey from the bottom rung here of this Nine of Wands to the top rung. We're still going to be on a precipice of light and dark, even once we get to the top. So there's got to be an acceptance of this light and dark, of this give and take. And you might even be asking yourself that in your own relationships. What am I giving? What am I expecting? What am I taking? What works for me? And that throws us, into that Eight of Cups. We see here all these cups are shattered. There's a dark background. The Eight of Cups is always about a spiritual journey, dropping everything to go and discover something new. It's a transition. It's a transition. And then, of course, we have what's under here, the Magician, creating something. We're manifesting something completely new. Okay, let's go ahead and get some guidance to go along with this reading. Let's see. Where is my mystical shaman oracle? I know we're talking about relationships, and I love to find something that really speaks to that. And I think the mystical shaman oracle will give us that insight. Okay. I call on my divine teachers and spirit guides to come into this reading with guidance for the message that has been given. And of course, yes, we see in this Seven of Pentacles this repeating pattern, or at least looking at the repeated pattern to see how we can be successful in doing it right. And it's almost as if, even if we take ourselves out of this, even if we take ourselves out of certain emotional situations, we get a chance to go back, right? And look again. We're going back and looking again at these relationships, right? With this Seven of Pentacles, to see, what was I getting out of those relationships? What did I gain? What did I receive? What did I do? And the only thing you can do, and this is something that my mother used to tell me when examining your relationships, and I waffle with this statement a lot of times. Like, I go back and forth a lot of times with this statement, but you are the common denominator in all of your relationships. And so the way that you touch and interact and kind of bounce off of, these relationships, there's always this element of what came out of it. What was it, a strong resource for you, spiritual resource for you? Was it something that you could rely on? Was it something that you could depend on? Or was it just, an empty cup for you or for the other person? All right. So yeah, you're looking at yourself as the common denominator. And again, this is a spiritual journey. This is the Eight of Cups. And I do see that 8 here, where maybe your expectations were really high for a relationship. And again, it could be any relationship. It doesn't have to be just love or romantic. You might have had really high expectations about a relationship, and that all the investment that you made into that relationship just kind of fell. All right, let's do one more round here. Thank you, Spirit. Can you give us, wow, that flew out. Okay, thank you. We've got the upper world in reverse. Oops, everything's falling there. Okay, so we've got the upper world in reverse here as our guidance. So that is the number 59 card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Okay, the upper world. So this card came out in the reverse. I'm going to read it in the reverse, but I'm also going to read the essence, the overall meaning of the card. So the essence. Angels, divine helpers, the ancient ones, and all varieties of luminous beings populate the upper world. It is the place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become, discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It is also the place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light. The medicine. Ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what has been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and idleness. While support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. Yeah. And again, I do see a spiritual journey, and it's just a matter of looking at, and this upper world card I feel is connected to this Ace of Swords in reverse. And again, upright, the Ace of Swords is clarity, it's continued devotion. But in reverse, I feel there is probably false illusions or miscommunication. And, as we know, Mercury is going into retrograde very soon. Right now, it's in its pre-shadow phases. So there might be a lot of looking at your relationships at this time, but especially your relationship, your involvement in that relationship. Wow. Well, if this resonates with you and you'd like to continue more into this reading, leave a comment or shoot me an email and let me know. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's definitely this Five of Cups. There's definitely some change in relationship here. Some grieving. Yeah. It's almost, there's a grieving attached to that. There's a loss of relationship. Okay. I don't want to go any further. But this is your weekly reading, and also your full moon in Pisces reading. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. I definitely still owe you one more midweek reading, so that will probably be coming up this week. All right, talk to you later. Namaste.